Forget everything you thought you knew about the paranormal.
Today's episode is packed with cryptids, ghosts, and conspiracies that'll shake your grip on reality.
Don't believe me? Well, my name is Steve. This is Classified Captures. Let's watch this first clip.
This was recently captured by a resident in Chiang Mai, Thailand. In the footage, there's this dark black object in the clouds. Part of it is hidden behind the cloud, but what's visible is not even something we can identify. In this day and age, it's getting harder to tell what we're really seeing. Is it a UFO? Could it be some kind of secret military technology, or maybe even a surveillance device that wasn't properly cloaked? Whatever it is, it doesn't look like a drone or any regular aircraft. The shape is off, the movement is too still, and the fact that it blends partially into the clouds makes it feel like it wasn't meant to be seen at all. Skeptics argue that it's just a weather balloon, but others are convinced that something strange is going on. The theories are numerous, but you've seen the clip, so what do you think's going on here? This eerie photograph was taken by a family who had gone to a cemetery to pay respects to a loved one. But instead of finding peace, they captured something deeply unsettling. From a distance, they noticed what looked like the silhouette of a humanoid figure floating over a grave. The figure had one hand resting at its side, while its head seemed to be bowed, gazing down at the grave below. They took another photograph of it, and that's when things got even stranger. In the second image, the figure had moved. Now it looked even less human. It appeared to have horns, a tail, and one hand raised over the grave, almost like it was reaching out or performing some kind of ritual. The entire posture and appearance of the thing felt unnatural. Some who've seen the image claim it looks like the devil himself coming to collect a soul. Others brush it off as a hoax, but the original poster insists the photo is real. So the question remains, what did they see that day in the cemetery?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
There's a trend going around on TikTok right now using the audio that says, "Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday." It's meant to be lighthearted and funny, but one particular video under this trend has left people rather creeped out. In the video, someone filmed their two black cats zooming around the house in their usual chaotic run. At first, it seems like your typical cat going crazy moment, but then people noticed something. One of the cats is standing in the doorway of a room. Suddenly, it jolts and springs out. A second black cat appears right behind it and follows, but here's where things get weird. As the second cat runs toward the door, it suddenly looks like something invisible lifts it into the air. You can literally see one of its hind legs being pulled upward, but there's nothing there. It only lasts a second, but if you rewatch the video, it's hard to unsee. The first cat runs out scared, and the second cat is almost out of the door when it gets lifted mid-run. People in the comments are freaking out. Some say it's a glitch, others call it a paranormal encounter, and a few even joke that the cat might be possessed. But seriously, what did we just witness? Cats aren't supposed to fly like that, are they?
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
We've got another strange sighting in the sky, and this time it's happened over the ocean. As the sun was setting, someone noticed something odd. The sky had that golden glow you get just before it fades into the night, but right in the middle of that last patch of light was a strange silhouette. Now, we know what airplanes and helicopters look like, and this was definitely not one of them. And it clearly wasn't a person or drone either. It was too high, too still, and just too weird. So what exactly are we looking at here? Is this some kind of unidentified tech, or could it be something we're not meant to understand? Because the more we see these strange shapes in the sky, the harder it is to believe they're just mere coincidences. Back in the day, monks were seen as some of the holiest people you could ever come across. Even now, many still hold them in high regard as symbols of peace, discipline, and spiritual purity. But something very strange happened in Thailand that's left a lot of people questioning everything. The police were tipped off by locals who said something didn't feel right about one particular temple. So they launched a raid, and what they found was beyond shocking. Out of 18 monks living at the temple, 6 of them tested positive for meth. Yeah, you heard that right, methamphetamine. These weren't just everyday folks, they were supposed to be holy men, but it didn't stop there. Authorities discovered hidden firearms and other suspicious items tucked away on the temple grounds. Some even had these weapons on them in their wraps. But what were they preparing for while in the temple? The monks who tested positive were immediately sent to rehab, and officials are now trying to get to the bottom of this strange case. Bizarre, I know, but it is what it is. A trail camera picked up something really strange deep in the forest, and people aren't quite sure what to make of it. In the footage, we see what looks like a hairy creature standing upright. It's not human-sized, which already makes this pretty unsettling. Now here is where it gets even weirder. Its round eyes glowed in the camera light. At first glance, you might think it's a raccoon, but this thing doesn't move like a raccoon. It doesn't even look like one. It's more like a raccoon-sized animal stretched into a human shape, but covered in thick, dark fur. So what exactly are we looking at here? Some are saying it could be a new species, maybe even a misidentified cryptid. Others think it might be a fake. But what do you think? A family who traveled to Africa and was enjoying a late-night dinner to celebrate a birthday. It was supposed to be a simple, joyful night with great food, laughter, and memories. Like most people, they decided to snap a photograph to remember the moment. Now, take a look at the end of the table. There's something, or rather someone, standing there. A ghostly figure, almost translucent, staring directly into the camera. The figure appeared to have long black hair and was dressed in a white robe, like an old-fashioned nightgown. What's even more unsettling is that it looked like a white person, which was a little bit surprising considering the family was deep in a remote, wooded part of Africa. So who or what was that? Could this be the spirit of someone connected to the family or attached to one of them? I guess we'll never really know for sure. The family was flying over the ocean when one of them noticed something strange in the water below. At first, it looked like just a shadow beneath the waves, but then they realized it was moving. Whatever it was going the same direction as the plane. The woman who filmed it first thought it might be a shark. Well, that would make sense, right? But then someone else in the video says that's not a shark. And when you look closer, well, they might be right. This thing was huge and it was moving fast, way too fast for a normal sea creature, especially one so far below the surface. From the height they were flying, for it to even show up like that, it had to be massive. So what exactly did they see? A whale? Some kind of sea serpent? Or something else entirely?
It's a shark. Yes, it is. That's gonna be a shark.
A woman bought these apples from Indiana, and just look at them. The apples are covered in deep cracks, almost like they've been dried out or stressed from the inside. It's honestly hard to look at. I've never seen apples like this before, and a lot of people online are saying the same thing. It's becoming more and more obvious that something strange is happening with our food supply. Whether it's the weather, soil quality, or something else entirely, the results are showing up right on our plates. This unspoken war on our food system just keeps getting worse. I'm tempted to recommend that each of us grow our own food. It sounds like a great idea until you realize it's impossible to grow all the food you need. So, what do we do?
Apples should not crack like this. This came from in Indiana. Something is happening to our food supply. I've never in my life seen this happen.
This little girl was simply posing in her room while her father took a photograph of her. But when they looked back at the picture, they noticed something chilling. On the wall behind her was the shadow of a large, hunched humanoid figure, but there was nothing in the room that could have cast that shape. The walls were plain, no posters, no decorations, and no objects that could have created that online. And in real time, they saw absolutely nothing on the wall. The shadow only appeared in the photo. So what was it? Some people think it's a spirit making itself known. Others say it looks like a creature silently watching from the other side. So what do you think it was? This woman was out in the woods, taking a walk with her dog, when she suddenly started to feel uneasy. You know that strange feeling you get when something isn't right? Well, that's exactly what she said hit her. She took out her phone and began recording, just in case, and then she noticed something up ahead in the path. There, in the distance, was a tall, dark figure. It looked like it was moving slowly toward her, walking like a person. She was alarmed, but she didn't panic. Instead, she calmly turned around and walked her dog back home. But by the time she got back, she was visibly shaken. She said she couldn't make out exactly what it was, but it wasn't human and wasn't exactly like any animal she'd seen before either. Some people are speculating that it could be a cryptid. What do you think she saw? What exactly are we looking at here? This strange blur of lights was captured in the night sky, and they just keep circling in this hypnotic, almost graceful motion. It looks like some kind of light show or maybe even a new kind of drone display, but these days with everything we've been seeing in the sky lately, could this be something more? Some people are saying it's just lights, others are convinced it might be a UFO, or even signs of alien activity. After all, strange lights in the sky have long been linked to unidentified flying objects. So are we just looking at some harmless atmospheric lights, or is this not of this world? How far will people go just for a thrill? A man filmed himself lying under a moving train while it was passing directly over him. It's one of the most reckless stunts we've seen in a while. He was lucky. The train happened to be just high enough off the tracks for him to fit. But there were 1,000 ways this could have gone horribly wrong. The space between him and the undercarriage was razor thin. One wrong twitch and he could have been crushed instantly. The wind generated by a moving train is powerful enough to shift your body or suck something into its path, so just a gust in the wrong direction could have pulled him under the wheels. And what if his clothes snagged on one of the passing parts, or if a sudden bump in the track caused the train to drop lower? There are too many variables and zero guarantees that he would walk away from it. To be honest, this is one of the dumbest, most dangerous things anyone could ever attempt. He was lucky, but this kind of luck runs out fast.
If you're watching this and you think it looks cool, you're a dumbass.
Believe it or not, there are several pieces of evidence out there suggesting that time travel might actually be real. And we might already have the technology within us to even know about it. So let's take you back to the 1980s. There was a live broadcast of a large crowd event. Nothing out of the ordinary at first, just people gathered, cheering, waving. But then the camera panned across a group and something bizarre stood out. There was a woman holding what looked like a smartphone, filming whatever was happening in front of her. You could even see a girl standing next to her, clearly looking at the screen in curiosity. But here's the thing. In the 1980s, well, we know there were no smartphones. Touchscreen phones didn't hit the market until around 2006, and even back then, they were clunky, expensive, and very rare. So was this actual footage of a time traveler caught on live TV? Some skeptics say it's just a portable radio or an old-school camera. Others believe this could be the smoking gun that proves time travel is not only possible, but already happening. There's also the AI and CGI people, but, well, what do you think? I've always said not to mess with a Ouija board, and if you've ever wondered why, well, this clip might just be your answer. These two women were using a Ouija board, casually asking questions and giggling like it was just a game. Everything seemed fine until viewers noticed something strange happening on the side of the table. At first it looked like the board was just moving from the breeze of a fan nearby, but then it lifts like someone picked it up, but there was no one there. That's the moment one of the women noticed too. You can see her freeze, eyes wide. It's like she suddenly felt something wasn't right anymore. Whatever playful energy was in the room shifted fast. Ouija boards are not toys, people. A lot of people think it's just for fun, but stories like this are the reason people warn against them. People, you might think you're having fun, but you never know who or what is actually listening. Have you ever seen this footage before? This woman stands in front of a plant, gently speaking to it and asking it to move closer and touch her face, and then, unbelievably, it actually does. The plant slowly leans in like it heard her. Another woman nearby, intrigued, decides to try the same thing. She calmly asks the tree to come closer, and again, it responds. It slowly sways towards her and gently touches her face. Now, people are calling this a new form of New Age spirituality, a practice that reflects the deep connection between humans and nature. Some say it's about grounding energy, others believe it's proof that plants can sense intention, emotion, and even communication. Whether you believe it's science, spirituality, or something else entirely, one thing's for sure, there's something mysterious about this. Could it be that nature does listen more than we think?
Lower your branch and touch my shoulder, please. Lower. Lower. And move closer to my voice, please. Can you come closer and move closer to my voice? Closer. 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 Thank you.
Scientists have made a shocking discovery that could reshape the entire African continent as we know it. Deep beneath eastern Africa, a massive crack is forming, and geologists believe this could be the birth of a brand new ocean. It sounds fascinating, but it's real, and it's not exactly good news. This rift is part of what's known as the East African Rift System. Over time, tectonic plates beneath the surface are slowly pulling apart, and as they separate, they create space for water to rush in. If this continues, experts believe Africa could eventually split into two land masses, with a whole new ocean forming between them. Right now, the crack is visible in places like Ethiopia and Kenya, and is growing slowly. This process could take millions of years to fully unfold, but the fact that it's happening at all is both mind-blowing and a little terrifying. I can't help but wonder if this could lead to the rise of a new continent or become the catalyst for massive geological changes. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but what do you guys think? A man had visited an old abandoned school just out of curiosity, or, well, maybe for the thrill of it. While walking around the empty building, he noticed that the lights in one of the classrooms were flickering on and off. At first, he thought, well, maybe it was faulty wiring. But as he got closer, the light stopped blinking and stayed on. Now that was odd. The school had been vacant for years, so no power should be running. Feeling uneasy, he pulled out his phone and started filming through the classroom window, and that's when things got even weirder. His camera picked up movement on the far side of the room. Something was walking. It was tall, and the figure moved in this slow way. The image wasn't clear enough to see exactly what it was. It was too far late and far too quiet for anyone to be in there. So what exactly are we looking at here? A squatter? A prank? Or something far more sinister hiding in the abandoned classroom? Kindly share your thoughts.
Cuando yo estoy largo, pero cuando yo me acerco, mira lo que pasa. Ahorita se enciende y se apaga. Ahora mira, ahorita cuando me acerco, mira. Mira.
As much as we like to brush off certain ideas as crazy conspiracies, the truth is not everything is pure fiction. In fact, some of the most mind-blowing tech advancements we used to only see in science fiction are actually real, and they've been officially patented by some of the biggest tech companies in the world. Take a look at these real examples. Microsoft has failed patents for holographic teleportation, which would allow a person to appear in another location as a lifelike hologram. Meta has patents around mind-reading technology, using brain-computer interfaces to interpret thoughts and turn them into digital commands. Samsung has been working on dream monitoring and control. They've explored tech that could track your dreams and possibly influence them, which opens up a whole new world of subconscious interaction. Amazon has patented space-based data centers. There are actual plans to launch cloud infrastructure in orbit, potentially reducing latency and expanding connectivity far beyond Earth. Google has patents involving robots that can feel, mimicking human sensations, and also smart wearables that can mimic our skin and muscles. Apple is deep into augmented reality glasses, with multiple patents showing plans to merge the digital and physical world right in front of our eyes. All of these patents are on public record. They're real filings by real companies planning for very real futures. So maybe it's time we stop thinking of these things as far-fetched and start realizing that the future we imagined is already being built. The question isn't if this tech will exist, it's how soon it will become part of our everyday lives. Stepping away from the tech of the future, let's take a good look at some clips of yesterday. This particular clip has been circulating in the paranormal circles for a while now, and it allegedly comes from Russia. Have you noticed why it's gone viral? No? Well, look again. There's a large spider-like creature moving on the building. The one who originally recorded this clip stated that he initially thought it couldn't be real, but as he recorded, it became evident that the thing was actually there. Not sure about you, but when I watch this, it looks like Spider-Man in a Venom suit. As the clip progresses, we see this creature drop to the ground, where he morphs into an ordinary-looking man. See how much it fits into my hypothesis. A similar clip has been recorded in the past at the same location. When I initially saw this, I assumed it was the same clip, but my editor showed me proof that it was not. See how different they are. It turns out this new clip was uploaded by a relatively new account, and it tells the same story as the post I had seen in the past. The weird thing is, the old post, which could be traced as far back as 2009, has been wiped from the internet. Yeah, you basically can't find it hosted anywhere. Back in the day, it was rumored to have malware that affected the PCs of those who downloaded it. Not sure if that's why it disappeared, but it certainly is interesting. Our video editor suspects the current clip isn't genuine, though, but not everyone shares that sentiment. It's got more than 5 million views since it was uploaded. Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what do you think? We have here a strange piece of surveillance footage, and it's left a lot of people scratching their heads. According to the homeowner, something bizarre showed up on their monitor late at night. It happened right in front of their house. At first, it looked like two stray dogs had emerged from the darkness and were moving around the front of their home. But when you look closely at the footage, something doesn't add up. The dogs appear to take form from a strange, shadowy mass. You can see what looks like two pairs of glowing eyes emerging from this fluid, dark shape, and then slowly morphing into the shape of a dog. The homeowner was understandably disturbed. They weren't sure what they were looking at, neither are we. Some people think it's just edited footage, but others believe this might be something more, possibly a shape-shifting creature, a skinwalker, or even something spiritual manifesting itself in animal form. It's eerie, and no matter what you believe, the footage is bizarre. So what do you think? When they say fossils have been found, you usually expect dinosaurs, mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and other massive, impressive creatures that once ruled the Earth. But guess what recently shocked scientists? A fossilized mosquito. Yeah, you heard that right. A tiny, delicate mosquito somehow got preserved in such perfect condition that researchers could still see its structure, and it was fossilized with blood still inside it. This finding sent shockwaves through the scientific community, first because mosquitoes are soft-bodied insects and almost never fossilize this well, and second, the preserved blood inside opened up the possibility of learning more about what creatures were alive back then and what this mosquito might have fed on millions of years ago. It's like a Jurassic Park scene minus the dinosaur resurrection. For now. How deeply do you sleep at night? Because after hearing this story, you might start checking your locks twice. A woman woke up one morning and realized that some of her belongings were missing, so she went straight to check her security footage, and what she found shocked not just her but everyone who saw it. A burglar had broken into her home during the night, fully covered from head to toe. His intention was to get in, grab what he couldn't get out, but something unexpected happened. When he stepped into her bedroom, he found her lying there completely naked and fast asleep. Instead of carrying on with this theft, the man stood there staring. He was so distracted by her body that he just stood in the room silently watching her as she slept. He stood there for quite a while before finally snapping out of it, grabbing a few items and quietly slipping away. And she slept through the entire thing. Thankfully, she wasn't harmed, but the whole situation could have ended very differently. Some new updates in the world of invention and artificial intelligence, and honestly, this one sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. It was recently announced that AI has created a brand new material which is lighter than foam but stronger than steel. Yeah, you heard that right. Something softer and lighter than what you'd use to pack a box, but tougher than the metal used to build skyscrapers. This is impressive and a little terrifying. Imagine what this kind of material could be used for. Military tech, space exploration, high-performance armor, or even robots that are nearly indestructible. It sounds like the beginning of the Terminator storyline, doesn't it? We're heading into some seriously advanced territory. The question is, how long before AI goes from creating super materials to creating something we can't control? Lately, there's been a disturbing rise in stories about organ harvesting, and it's honestly terrifying. These stories keep surfacing, and if anything, it feels like the problem is getting worse. Back in 2021, there was a case in Kentucky. A man had overdosed and fallen into a coma. The doctors said he had a high chance of waking up, but while he was still on life support, something disturbing happened. A private organ donor company allegedly started pressuring his family to pull the plug and donate his organs. Luckily, he woke up right before the procedure was about to begin. But even then, the team reportedly tried to continue. It took the family stepping in and putting their foot down to stop the whole thing. Since then, multiple people who worked in similar private donation companies have come out to say this kind of pressure on families, especially those with loved ones in comas, is not uncommon, and it's sickening. We have to be vigilant. Organ donation is a noble thing, but not when it's being rushed or forced while someone still has a chance to live. Be careful out there. Someone recently shared footage of something very strange they spotted in the sky. It was this long, tube-like object slowly rotating in the air. It just hovered there almost like it was holding its position deliberately. So people are confused. Some think it might be a piece of space debris just floating down, but it didn't behave like something was falling. Others believed it could be some kind of new tech, maybe a surveillance device, an experimental drone, or even part of a government project. But then there's the other side of the internet saying what we're all thinking: UFO. It wouldn't be the first time something strange has been spotted in the skies with no clear explanation, so what do you think? A family was jolted awake in the middle of the night by a loud banging sound coming from the bottom of the stairs. Thinking it might be an intruder, the man turned on the lights and cautiously stepped onto the staircase to check. He pointed his camera down the steps, but there was nothing but darkness. Then a few seconds later, heavy footsteps suddenly came charging up the stairs, very loud and fast. But we still couldn't see anything. The man clearly shaken, so he bolted backwards in fear. And even though we didn't see a figure on camera, it was obvious something was there. Some believe it might have just been an audio from somewhere else, but there's also the circulating theory that it could have been some kind of invisible entity. What's your take on this?
Hello? Oh my God!
A man visited the Kachina Woman Rock in Arizona and made a truly eerie discovery.
This whole thing had kind of been confusing at parts. A minute ago, I started taking a video of a rock that was chipping, and it shouldn't chip like that. And then my Shakira was over here, and she's beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chip's like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the...
As he knocked on the rock, he noticed it produced a hollow sound. Now, this is particularly strange because the rock is made of sandstone, which doesn't usually make such sounds. The hollow sound means there is some sort of space inside this massive rock. While some people are convinced that this is just a natural occurrence and nothing unusual, some in the paranormal community believe there's more to the story. They think there might be something else down there occupying all that space. Perhaps it's a passage to Hollow Earth, an underground secret facility, or something even more mysterious. I did some research though and discovered sandstone can have a hollow sound under certain conditions. This typically happens when there are internal voids or cavities formed during its geological formation, through processes like gas bubble entrapment or mineral dissolution. Sandstone's porous nature, with interconnected pores between grains, can also contribute to a hollow sound when tapped. Additionally, surface weathering, biological activity, or human activity such as quarrying or construction can create cavities or thin shells over large voids within the stone. In other words, his explanation was wrong. What do you think?
Beating on this stuff, and we realized that this chip's like a plaster, and it's like a hollow sound compared to the real rock. Look, there's a perfect scene.
Have you ever seen a plant do this? By that, I mean light a match. In the video, you see a hand placing a cup of water under the hanging fruit. Then a match is held above it, and surprisingly, the match lights up. To demonstrate further, the hand plucks the fruit into the cup of water, and when a match is held over the water again, it lights up once more. When I saw this, my mind was blown, but Julius, being our in-house scientist, was not convinced. He spent about 15 minutes analyzing the clip and came out with a working hypothesis. The clip is fake. Well, not 100%. Everything you are seeing is happening as you're seeing it. The thing, however, is this: the clip is in reverse. Take a critical look at the clip again and you will realize this. Whoever came up with this idea was brilliant, but imagine that there was actually a plant that had this superpower. Would you consider it a natural wonder or a danger and threat? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
What is that? I don't have a candle on. You have that Is it lit up? Yeah, it's lit.
A woman came downstairs one evening and was startled by what she found. In the corner of the room, there was a strange sight. Smoke, or what appeared to be smoke, was floating eerily in the air, almost as if it was suspended in place. What makes this even more unsettling is that there was no fire or candlelight anywhere in the house. So where did this mysterious smoke come from? The room was otherwise quiet and untouched, with no obvious source for the strange phenomenon. As she watched, the smoke didn't dissipate like ordinary smoke would. It just lingered there, almost as if it was aware of her presence. Was this some kind of paranormal activity, or could it be something else entirely? An unexplained natural phenomenon, or perhaps a message from something unseen?
I don't have a candle on. You have that Is it lit up? Yeah, it's lit.
Вот я, простой американский президент, смотрю на всех этих роботов.
When the clip started, did you think that was real? Well, if you did, at least for the first second or two, then you aren't alone. Personally, after the first 5 seconds, I started to suspect this was not real, and once the lady approached it and lifted a part of its head off, I knew I was a pro at determining when something wasn't real. Moving away from my little joke there, you have to wonder if there aren't advanced versions of these things already moving around us. This would explain many of the strange behaviors and actions we've featured on this channel with regard to public figures like politicians and celebrities. What do you think, though?
Вот я, простой американский президент, смотрю на всех этих роботов.
Next up, we've got today's bonus segment. This footage comes to us from the rugged landscapes of Spain. While exploring a dense forest, a hiker unexpectedly encountered a loud and eerie growl emanating from the depths of the woods. The origin of this unsettling sound remains a mystery, and the hiker was left both puzzled and unnerved. Today, our task is simple. Can you identify the roar or grunt at the end of the video? Before you say no, remember, the best answer to this question gets the opportunity to be featured in our next episode. If you believe you've got the answer, simply let us know who or what is responsible by typing its name in the comments section. Begin the answer with bonus and we'll be sure to find it. May the best man or woman or alien and possibly cryptid win. The number of questionable things people encounter when it comes to food is very alarming. Take a look at this.
Since when do watermelons feel like that?
A woman went to buy a watermelon in the supermarket and to her surprise discovered something shocking. The deep green color of the fruit came off like a sticker. Have you ever seen a watermelon do that? The color just peeled away, revealing an unnatural appearance beneath. This doesn't look right and certainly doesn't resemble a mature, natural fruit. It looks like something that was made in a factory, not grown on a farm. What could be the reason behind this? Is it a fake watermelon made with artificial materials, or could there be another explanation, such as a protective coating applied during transport that inadvertently came off? If you work in this industry, please enlighten us in the comments section.
Since when do watermelons peel? Huh? Since when do watermelons peel like that?
Still on the subject of UFOs, take a look at this. When was the last time you saw a cloud move with a light source in it like that? Aside from that, if you look closely, you'll see what looks like a force field around the cloud as it moves. The individual who posted this online was shocked and weirded out by the whole thing. He wanted answers, but Aaron stated that sometimes things are just what they look like. There's no explanation needed. And by that he means that if it looks alien, then, well, it's definitely alien. What say you? What do you think is actually happening here as well? For a bit of context, we've got some meat, or at least part of it, moving on its own. It appears to be freshly cut, which has me wondering, can freshly cut meat move on its own? Well, the answer is yes. It is possible for freshly cut meat to move on its own. This could be due to residual nerve activity. After an animal is slaughtered, the nerves in its muscles can remain active for a short period. If the meat is very fresh, these nerve endings might still send electrical impulses, causing the meat to contract and move. This phenomenon is more common in certain types of meat, like frogs' legs or fish, where the nerves are particularly responsive. Additionally, factors like the application of salt or changes in temperature could stimulate these nerve endings, triggering muscle contractions even after the meat is being cut. While it can be unsettling to witness, this movement is a natural and temporary reaction, not an indication that the meat is alive. It's simply a result of the biological processes that continue briefly after death. I had to take a mini science course for this one, so a like and a sub at this point would be great. No? These days, volcanic eruptions don't make the headlines as much as other natural disasters. Sure, we hear about volcanoes being active, puffing out some smoke now and then, but it rarely seems alarming. Some people even live on or around volcanoes because they don't seem to pose an immediate threat. But let's not forget that when these giants do erupt, they can be incredibly dangerous. Take a look at this bizarre footage. This volcano is erupting with lava pouring out. Thankfully, people seem to have gotten the memo and are keeping a safe distance. Cars are parked along the road, and you can see people out of their vehicles, some watching in awe while others around are running. Just because volcanic eruptions aren't frequently reported doesn't mean they aren't real and present danger. Unlike Bigfoot, which is more myth than reality, volcanoes are genuinely natural structures that can erupt at any moment. It's a sobering reminder of the power of nature and how unpredictable it can be. Before you come after me for the Bigfoot statement, please note that it was just a comparison. Someone on my team suggested that the clip could be fake, but I'll leave that to your discretion. Back in 2022, a Chinese telescope was observing Mars when it captured something extraordinary, a disc-shaped object floating above the planet. The object resembled the typical flying saucer often depicted in UFO sightings. The big question is, what exactly is this object? Is it an alien craft, or is it just one of the drones that are being deployed on the planet for exploration purposes? With the increasing number of missions to Mars, numerous drones and rovers are constantly being sent to study the Martian surface, making it possible that this sighting could be explained by one of these human-made devices. On second thought, I doubt any craft from our planet would have such a shape, so there are two possible conclusions here. Either the clip is fake, or we've got an alien situation on our hands. A group of friends decided to go on an adventure deep into the woods one night. The thrill of exploring the unknown had them excited, but as they ventured further, an unsettling feeling began to creep over them. It was as if something was watching them, lurking just out of sight.
What the fuck is that?
One of the guys, feeling particularly uneasy, pulled out his phone and started to scan the surroundings with the flashlight on. That's when he saw it. In the darkness, there stood a massive figure, towering and menacing, staring directly at them. The sheer size of the creature was enough to send chills down their spines. As soon as the creature realized it had been spotted, however, it quickly ducked behind some nearby bushes. The footage is very blurry, so we cannot make out the creature well, but the boys described the creature as having the proportions of a Bigfoot, large, hairy, and with an unmistakable presence. The sighting was brief, but it left them all shaken. Was it really a Bigfoot, or could it have been something else entirely? Personally, I'm not buying it, but please do share your thoughts.
What the fuck is that?
It feels like shit, Mitch.
Wild, right? If you're anything like me, you're probably wondering how he's still alive, and the answer is simple: science, or insulation, depending on how you interpret things. Electricity is one of the most important resources in this modern world, but as important as it is, it's also dangerous. This video right here shows an electrical lineman working with a high-voltage power line. From the clip, we can only see his hands and arms, and that's enough to give us an idea of how he's still alive. He's wearing gloves and protective gear. Although he's working with super high voltage, his special gear keeps him insulated. The tiny sparks we see are only there because of tiny bits of electricity jumping between the wire and the lineman's body, like a small electric tug-of-war happening really fast, maybe 60 times a second. As cool as they look, you won't survive interacting with them without special gear, so stay away from electricity or enjoy it from afar, like we're doing with this clip.
It feels like shit, Mitch.
Do you believe we live in a matrix or some sort of parallel universe? If you didn't, this next clip might make you question our reality. A girl was taking a video walk, capturing her peaceful surroundings, when something truly bizarre happened. Out of nowhere, two girls emerged from behind her, but they hadn't been there from the beginning. How is this even possible? It's almost as if they teleported to their spot. What's even more perplexing is that the two girls didn't seem shocked at all. They walked nonchalantly as if this was a normal everyday occurrence. To add to the mystery, no one else around seemed to notice anything unusual either. What could be the reason for this? Is it a glitch in reality, an optical illusion, or perhaps something more profound? Share your theories and observations with us in the comments section. Also, are you a believer in the Matrix yet? Check out this new invention from Germany and let me know what you think about it. This innovative smart pen developed in Germany is quite an intriguing piece of technology. The pen connects to a mobile device and is then placed in the mouth. Using bone conduction, it transmits sound through your teeth and mouth directly to your skull, allowing you to play songs that only you can hear. It's certainly a novel piece of tech, leveraging bone conduction to create a private listening experience. However, I'm not sure I would enjoy walking around with a pen in my mouth all the time. It might be convenient in certain situations, but it seems a bit cumbersome for everyday use. What do you make of this invention? Would you get one, or do you think it's too unusual to be practical? Let us know your thoughts. Imagine taking a walk one day and coming across something like this in the sky. What's the first thing that would come to your mind? Aliens? Drones? An impending doom to your world? Well, if you thought any of these things, you aren't alone. This was uploaded on one of the paranormal platforms we belong to by someone whose daily activities were disrupted by the appearance of this thing in the sky. And no, they didn't attack him or try to abduct him or anything like that. Instead, seeing this in the sky and not knowing what he was looking at left him feeling uneasy. If he was the only one seeing it, he might have concluded he ate too much, but that's not the case. Others in the vicinity could see it too, and for some funny reason, the media said nothing about it, and it didn't go anywhere when they tried to make it go viral on social media. This left them feeling suspicious and a little unsure of themselves. Were they just being paranoid, or were the authorities aware of this and trying to keep it quiet? I'll leave that to you guys to decide. Next is another intriguing piece of UFO footage to analyze. This one is really something special. Let's take a closer look. So what we are seeing here is a triangular-shaped craft. Now, what's fascinating about this one is that it's completely flat, which is quite unusual compared to the typical UFO sightings we hear about. But that's not all. If you look closely, you'll notice it has 3 distinct red circular lights. These lights are positioned at the corners of the triangle, giving the craft an almost otherworldly glow. And right in the center, there's this strange symbol. It's not like anything I've seen before. It's almost as if it's some kind of alien insignia, or maybe even a glyph. But wait, there's more. In addition to the red lights, there are also 3 white lights. These are also onto the craft, positioned in a way that adds to its mysterious appearance. It's almost like the craft is trying to signal or communicate something. Either that, or it's simply the design of the craft. This raises so many questions. What is this symbol in the center? Why does this craft have such an unusual light configuration? And most importantly, where did it come from? There are a number of questionable things that have been spotted in the skies, from oddly shaped crafts to strange lights. Another phenomenon that has caught attention lately is the emergence of strange-looking objects resembling jellyfish. Take a look at this footage. 2 of these jellyfish-like objects are seen moving about in the sky. These things look like dark shapes as they drift and float, almost as if they have a life of their own. Now, some may argue that these objects might be balloons, but take a closer look at their fluid organic movements. Unlike typical balloons that float aimlessly or follow wind patterns, these objects seem to move with a deliberate and eerie grace that's hard to explain. Could this be the real thing, or am I just seeing things that aren't there? This chilling footage was captured in an underground garage. A couple was standing there when a glowing ring appeared out of nowhere. The man, curious or perhaps drawn to it, steps into the ring and vanishes instantly along with the glowing ring. The woman, witnessing this astonishing event, immediately runs off in a panic. What could this mysterious glowing ring be? Is it a portal to another dimension, a wormhole, or something else entirely? The footage is both fascinating and unnerving, leaving us with more questions than answers. That's what I'd love to say, but if this is true, why wasn't it reported? And if it was, why wasn't this clip ever made public? So many questions, yet little to no answers. Anyway, what do you guys think? Next, we've got this photo that was taken by a man driving home late at night. In the darkness, standing on 2 legs with glowing eyes fixed directly on him, was a strange creature at the edge of the forest in central Kentucky. The creature appeared dark and foreboding, with its eyes shining in the night, and its silhouette hard to make out clearly. But it definitely stood out against the backdrop of the trees. Many people who have seen this photo are divided on what it could be. Some believe it might be a bear, but the shape and posture are unusual for that. Others, particularly those intrigued by the paranormal, are not so convinced. They speculate that it could be a Bigfoot, given its size and the fact that it doesn't resemble a typical slender creature. Still, others suggest it might be another type of cryptid entirely, something yet unidentified and mysterious. Looking at this, it's hard to come to a definite conclusion. The eerie glow of the eyes and the dark, bulky figure certainly add to the sense of mystery. What do you think? I know we've seen a lot of things on this channel, but it's clips like this that always have me asking, what the hell is that? I mean, this does not look like any natural occurring animal species on our planet, at least the ones that we're familiar with. This looks like a blend of bat and wolf. It also appears to be humanoid, which brings to mind ancient and mythic creatures such as vampires, werewolves, and even the Dogman. You've seen the clip yourself. What do you think we're dealing with here? The amount of alien footage on the internet would shock you, with sightings and encounters coming in various shapes, sizes, and colors. Take a look at this particular footage, for instance. The video shows an alien-like creature lying on a bed, only its gray head and shoulders are visible. The creature's large eyes shut and its mouth slightly open, looking lifeless. Human hands are poking at it, but it doesn't budge. The eerie stillness and the almost lifelike appearance of the creature add to the mystery and intrigue. Some commenters suggest that it's a movie prop, noting the detailed craftsmanship that makes it look so realistic. Others think it might be a doll, perhaps created for a hoax or as part of an elaborate prank. The lifelessness and the way it's being handled make it hard to tell if it's something genuinely otherworldly or just a clever piece of art. With the advancement in technology, creating realistic-looking props and effects has become easier, making it even harder to distinguish between real and fake. So what do you think? Is this a genuine lifeless alien, a carefully crafted movie prop, or a cleverly designed doll? Moving from the dry and rocky areas, we move on to something rather wet and aquatic. Take a look. In this footage, a man was at the coast when fishermen were offloading their catch when he spotted something strange. A group of men on a boat carried out a huge creature. At first, he thought it was just a large fish, but then they placed the creature on a stretcher, giving him a clear view. Yes, the creature was a fish. At least it had a fish tail, but the upper part was unlike anything he'd ever seen. It looked like an alien, like humanoid. Its head was very large and its skin was extremely pale, almost white. The creature had its eyes closed and lay there lifeless as the men surrounded it, examining it closely. When it comes to mermaid sightings, the internet is mostly divided. Some videos and photos appear very cartoonish, resembling costumes or edited footage, while others look incredibly real and lifelike. So looking at this footage, what do you think? Are we dealing with the real deal, or is this just another elaborate hoax?
Okay, stop. Am I crazy? That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun.
When the sun is setting, we usually see a beautiful display of golden, orange, and yellow hues. But why does the sun look this way? A woman was out driving during sunset and captured an image of the sun that showed these incredible colors. This image is particularly striking because the sun appears red or pinkish, creating a surreal and stunning view. The science behind this phenomenon is quite interesting. As the sun sets, its light has to pass through more of the Earth's atmosphere compared to when it's overhead. The atmosphere acts like a filter, scattering shorter wavelengths of light, blue and violet, and allowing the longer wavelengths, red, orange, and yellow, to dominate. This scattering effect is known as the Rayleigh scattering. Additionally, particles in the atmosphere such as dust, pollution, and water droplets can further scatter and filter the sunlight, enhancing these vibrant colors. This is why the exact hues can vary depending on the weather, air quality, and other environmental factors. So while the sun might look red or pink in this particular image, it's all due to the fascinating interplay of light and the Earth's atmosphere. At least, that's what the science says. What do you guys think?
That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun. I am 41 years old. I have never seen the sun look like this. Am I crazy?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
A man and his family decided to spend a weekend camping in the woods, eager to enjoy some quality time together. The first day was full of fun and adventure, and as night fell, they began preparing to settle in and sleep. But just as they were about to drift off, they were startled by strange, unsettling sounds echoing through the woods. It was loud, almost like a howl or a deep growl, and it went on for what felt like an eternity. The man, sensing that something wasn't right, quickly gathered his family, urging them to the car as fast as they could. Some who've seen the footage are convinced that what they heard was the call of a wolfman, while others believe it could have been a Bigfoot lurking in the shadows. But what do you think? Could it be one of these cryptids, or was it something else entirely?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
Look at that. 9/27/24.
Still on Bizarre Captures, we travel back in time to the 27th of September of this year when a man captured a video of something truly unusual in the sky. In the clip, you can see a bright circular pattern glowing in the sky. According to the man who filmed it, the strange otherworldly sight resembled some kind of portal. Many in the community shared this perspective and started to debate what could have come or gone through it. While everyone shared their thoughts with excitement, Julius showed up claiming that what we were seeing was nothing more than a sundog. If this is your first time hearing the term, as it was mine when he mentioned it, it's a common atmospheric phenomenon caused by sunlight interacting with ice crystals in the atmosphere. Sundogs typically create bright spots or halos near the sun, which could explain the shape. While this sounds logical and scientific, you must still agree with me that the whole thing just looks otherworldly. Could there be more to this than science has discovered?
Look at that. 9/27/24.
We start today's episode in a theater, and it's not all what you're thinking. Well, if you're thinking something spooky happened, well, then you're right.
There's the ghost light. It's a light we keep on for ghosts, for people who still remain here and whatnot. And, what the What is that?
So the young man you see on your screen was in the theater when he started hearing strange noises. Usually, this is normal in a theater, but not when it's closed and you're supposed to be alone. After enduring the sound for a bit, he decided to step out and investigate. He decided to film the investigation just in case he caught someone breaking in. He explores the theater, shows us the ghost light meant to fish out people who stay after the theater had closed. As he pans the camera, he notices something, but it's not exactly clear. He gets closer to take a better look, and then he sees it. It's some sort of puppet, and it's staring down at him. At least, that's what I thought I saw. Naturally, he freaks out and eventually uploads it onto the internet. While going through the comments of the original post, I realized some said they saw a woman, whereas others saw a kid or a teenager. You guys have seen the clip. What do you also see? But more importantly, do you think this is legit, or do you think he's trying to get his 5 minutes of fame? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. Still on near-death experiences, take a look at this footage that was taken by a passenger on a plane that had lost its wheels mid-flight. It was a United Airlines flight that had taken off from Los Angeles Airport. The footage shows a view through the windows, and everything outside looks surprisingly smooth. As the camera panned around the cabin, you could see that most passengers were calm, though a few were chanting, "Brace, brace, brace." Despite the terrifying situation, the pilots and crew managed the crisis expertly. The plane even landed safely without any incidents or casualties, an incredible testament to the skill and competence of the crew. Even though it ended well, it was undoubtedly a scary situation for everyone on board. A scenario like this would certainly test anyone's nerves. Next, we've got some captivating footage from a home security camera in Mexico that caught something extraordinary on a stormy night. It's evident from the clip that the camera is positioned outside a house, providing an elevated view of the surroundings. The night is alive with the flashes of lightning and the rumble of thunder, creating a dramatic backdrop for what's about to happen. You can also see the sea in the distance. Suddenly, out of the darkness, a light appears. It moves steadily from the horizon towards the land. You can even see its reflection shimmering on the surface of the sea. A second look at the light, and you can tell it's some sort of craft, despite being so far away in the dark. No human crafts move the way this appears to move, and not many human crafts have this much light emanating from it. This leaves one possibility of an alien spacecraft. But is that even possible? Well, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, and hundreds of others who believe in the paranormal believe that's the case. What say you?
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
It's undeniable that technology has greatly enhanced our workforce, making tasks faster, more efficient, and often safer. But let's not forget the other side of this coin. Technology is also replacing jobs, leaving many workers out of work. Take a look at this footage, captured by one of the workers at a port. In the video, you'll notice something striking. There are no humans inside. Instead, it's just machines fully automated, taking on the tasks that were once done by men and women. This is exactly why port strikes are happening. Workers are being replaced and their livelihoods are at stake. But what happens when the few human roles left at these ports are taken over by machines? Where do those thousands of workers go? What becomes of the people who were sent home as technology continues to advance and take over? This is the harsh reality we are facing, and it's a question worth asking as we move forward into a more automated world.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas. No one's driving that? No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
How'd you feel about Tesla cars and Cybertrucks? They're quite innovative with their self-driving features, but to be honest, they kind of freak me out sometimes. Take this for example. A group of people were driving by an alleged abandoned parking lot when they came across something eerie. The entire lot was filled with Teslas and Cybertrucks, and here's the strange part. They were all moving, but no one was inside them. These cars were just rolling around on their own, gliding through the lot as if something was controlling them. What's even more unsettling is that it looked like the cars had been left there, abandoned. Why would an entire lot be full of self-driving vehicles like this, and what could be causing them to move around? Julius has a theory it's a testing site for these vehicles. That sounds logical, but what say you guys?
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas. No one's driving that? No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
For the longest time, I always thought that when people were cremated, they were just burnt to ashes. But it turns out that's not the full story. Take a look.
This is what you look like after you come out of the crematorium. You're not ashes. After your bones cool off with this fan, your bones are taken to a grinder, which is over here, that grinds everything up. And then you're turned into that little powder that people call ashes.
It's surprising, right? So after the body is burned, what actually happens is that the bones are left behind, and they don't just crumble into ashes on their own. Instead, these bones are cooled down and then placed into a grinder, which turns them into a fine powder that we typically think of as ashes. I never realized that was how it worked. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that. It's a bit unsettling to think about, but at least now I know, and the truth is out there. Assuming I was not the only one who didn't know.
Here, that grinds everything up. And then you're turned into that little powder that people call ashes.
Still on Strange Creatures in the Dark, take a look at this clip we found on one of our paranormal platforms.
Something's under my house.
The clip starts off with someone stating that there was something or someone underneath his home. He makes his way there, and there are balloons lined up in a straight line leading toward the dark parts of the lower section. Naturally, he was weirded out by this, but that's when he saw it. There were two beady eyes belonging to a small creature down there he couldn't really see. The eyes reflected in the light, and that's all. He was wondering what the creature was, which is why he uploaded it online. Looking at the clip in its current form, it's hard to say what that is, but if the clip is really genuine, like they're making it out to be, then this has to be a paranormal creature. The big question now is, which exact one? I don't have the answers currently, but I'd love to hear your thought. What do you think we're dealing with here?
Come on, boy. Come on.
We've been hearing a lot of news lately about scientists working on bringing extinct creatures back to life, like the woolly mammoth, which may soon be walking the earth again. And while that's, controversial, this next clip I stumbled upon is something truly wild. In this clip, someone is seen feeding a dinosaur. Yes, you heard that right. A triceratops. Now, these creatures are supposed to have been extinct for millions of years, so what is one doing in this footage? Some skeptics are quick to call it a fake, saying it's CGI or some kind of hoax, and sure, that's entirely possible. But if this is real, could it mean scientists have already found a way to bring certain extinct animals back without the public even knowing about it? What do you think? Could this be the real deal or just another internet trick? On second thought, if this was some top secret project, it wouldn't be on the internet. right?
Come on, boy. Come on.
The moon has long been a source of mystery and intrigue, with countless stories and legends surrounding its enigmatic presence. But this footage, captured in Nashville earlier this year, takes things to another level. In April, a woman was called outside by her friend to take a look at the moon. Sure, it's beautiful at night, but on this day there was something strange happening with it. A friend who had already noticed there was something unusual rushed out with a camera in hand ready to film. She started recording, zoomed in, and within seconds, something shocking happened. Lightning struck, not on the Earth, but onto the moon itself. As they watched in disbelief, you can hear the astonished reactions in the background. According to the woman, her friend mentioned that the moon had been changing colors just before the lightning struck, adding another layer of oddness to the whole event. What could this mean? Was it just a bizarre atmospheric phenomenon, or something more? When lightning striking the moon is unheard of, the fact that the moon seemed to change colors beforehand is even more puzzling. What do you think could have caused this?
What?
Hey! What are you doing over there?
A man was out in the park with his child when something strange happened. The child suddenly turned toward the trees nearby and pointed as if she had seen something. The man, curious and a little unnerved, called out, "Who's there?" while recording the scene on his phone. As he cautiously approached, he noticed movement. There, retreating in the shadows of the woods, was a pale, eerie creature. This wasn't just any creature, it was hunched over, its body bent in a way that was unnatural, and the most unsettling part? Its hands. They were extremely long, almost dragging on the ground as they moved silently away. The creature moved so quietly that you could almost miss it, slipping back into the darkness of the forest. But the man caught it on camera, just enough to leave us all wondering, what could this be? A cryptid lurking in the woods? This next one made my skin crawl. So if you're someone who can't stand seeing things eerily moving together, you might want to skip ahead for about 45 to 60 seconds. Now that's the disclaimer out of the way, so take a look.
What's that? What's that, brother?
What do you think this is? When I first saw this, I didn't know what to make of it until I visited the comments section of the original post. It was then I saw comments like these. Now, I'm no expert, but they may be onto something. There is a real chance that these are indeed worms. If you're here and you work with worms or bait or anything of that sort, can you confirm if that's the case? Thank you in advance.
What's that? What's that, brother?
Matrix glitches are some of the most bizarre and mind-bending phenomena that people report all over the world, and this next clip is no exception. A man parked his car in a lot, went about his business, and returned to find something completely unreal. There, lodged into his car, was a tree, but not in an ordinary way. This tree appeared to have grown through the front passenger seat from the ground up through the car's interior. What's even stranger is that you can see the full reflection of the tree's top in the car's windshield, as though it had been there for years. But the man had only parked there a few hours ago. How could a tree have grown into the car in such a short time? It seems that the only explanation for this was a Matrix glitch. Or do you have another explanation? A man visited Clingman Dome taking several beautiful photos of the sunset. But after returning home and reviewing the images, he noticed something strange. In the top right corner of the sky, there was an odd-looking object. This object didn't resemble any known aircraft, and its triangular shape stood out against the evening sky. While it's difficult to say exactly what it is just from the photo, the owner believes that they captured a UFO. What do you think? Could this be proof of something extraterrestrial or something else? This woman was driving across a bridge, just going about her everyday business. Everything seemed perfectly normal until out of nowhere a car from the incoming lane hits her truck and she suddenly veers off the road. Her dash cam captures every terrifying moment. Given she's driving a semi, she goes through the steel rails like it was butter, which leaves a car teetering dangerously on the edge. The hood of a car flies off from the impact, and the vehicle dangles halfway over the edge of a bridge. It's a close call. I mean, she was literally seconds away from disaster. You can almost feel the adrenaline and fear she must have felt in that moment. It's like one of those scenes where you can't help but hold your breath, hoping for a miracle. It's chilling to think about how differently things could have ended. She was lucky to escape this near-death experience without having met death. Not many can say that. Humans have come up with countless explanations for a lot of things, but death remains a profound enigma. No one really knows what happens after we're gone, or if we even truly are gone.
Look, guys, gone in 2021.
Wait.
It's a wild guess why, but
Look.
we're running
binary codes.
Binary codes here, guys, off the thing.
Get away from me.
Guys, we're right here at the cemetery, and this person was gone in 2023, and we're collecting binary codes. We have both of our phones on airplane mode, so it collects no binary codes at all. But when you get close to her grave, look, you had a number right there. Get close. Look, 2022, guys. Binary codes up the ass right there.
These men are no different and decided to visit the graveyard to run what I would call a little experiment. They had a device that could detect data and present it in binary code. With this device, they decided to approach graves and see if they would pick up anything. When they approached the grave of someone who had died in 2021, the device started presenting binary codes which were supposed to be coming from the grave. They tried the same thing on another grave, dated 2023, and the device again read codes as soon as it got closer to the grave. Is this evidence that the dead are not as silent as we once thought? They did believe so, and that's what they were trying to communicate. But individuals under their post had a different take. This user, for instance, believes that they were recording data from the graphene rather than the individuals in the grave. Julius isn't here to teach us or inform us of this fact, and I also couldn't find anything online when I did my research. If there is an expert amongst you who can explain what's going on here, please do so in the comments section. I would pin your comment when I see it so we could all learn. Until that comment comes, what do you guys think? Could the dead really be attempting to make contact, or are we just recording data from the natural environment like these users said?
Look, 2022, guys. Binary codes up the ass right there. There's information coming out of the graves, guys.
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, 14th?
Take a look at this footage from 2023, shared by a resident in Oklahoma. It starts with this strange object hovering in the sky above his house. At first glance, you might think it's something falling from space, but there is no fire, just a bright, tiny orb surrounded by a cloud of white smoke, leaving a smoky trail behind it. As you watch, the smoke begins to spread and slowly dissipates, leaving the shiny orb still floating in the sky. It just hovers there for a while, but then something even stranger happens. The orb starts emitting more of that white smoke, almost as if it's pulsing out of the object. And during this entire eerie spectacle, you can hear the sound of sirens going off in the background, adding to the tension. What could possibly be going on here? A meteor, space debris, or could it be something more mysterious, maybe even otherworldly?
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, what, 14th?
No, I don't like you people to use chemicals. We use natural food.
Yeah.
Which heals. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
We mostly worry about what we put into our bodies, questioning the safety of the food we eat and the chemicals used in its production. But how often do we stop to consider the clothes we wear? This man visited a remote village in Africa and interviewed one of the elders. The man wore clothing made from gazelle skin. As he talked, the elder shared a thought-provoking perspective. He stated that our clothes today are often manufactured using synthetic fibers and treated with a cocktail of chemicals, from dyes to preservatives. These chemicals, in turn, come into direct contact with our skin daily. When you think about it, you realize that just as we worry about the toxins we consume through food, it's worth considering what we absorb through our skin when we wear chemically treated fabrics. But do tell me, do you think our clothing is harming us in ways we haven't even considered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
I don't think I can say this enough, but humans can be very weird, scary, and dangerous. This video was taken by a man back in 2011. One night, he woke up and noticed something incredibly strange. There was a man standing by his house staring right at his bedroom window. The man was wearing a black hoodie with the hood pulled over his head, obscuring his face. He stood there for more than an hour, just staring at the bedroom window, completely aloof. Naturally, the scared homeowner called the police, but unfortunately, they didn't show up. You'd think that once morning came, this eerie encounter would be over, right? Well, no. This strange man kept coming back, and it went on for months. The homeowner and his partner were too frightened to confront the mysterious figure, so they left the place. Now, we don't know what's happened after they left the house or if the man ever stopped coming. What would you have done in their position? Also, why do you think he was just standing there night after night, just staring at their window? Am I not the only one who sees a face of a person with wings around it? Right? At least that's what I initially thought when I saw this. After taking a second and third look, it became apparent that this was a bird, and not just any bird at that, an owl. If you haven't seen any one of these critters in real life, you may doubt it. I know your inner thoughts a screaming human chicken, but that's a very large owl with its wings spread out. So no conspiracy here. Nothing to see, just an owl being defensive. Moving on, we have this chilling image taken by a man who decided to explore an abandoned building one night. Venturing out alone, he got closer to the eerie structure when something caught his eye. It was a creature crouched on the ground in front of the building. According to the man, the creature ran off as soon as it noticed him, but not before he managed to snap this photo. I've looked at it several times and I'm not able to confidently make out what it might be. You see it on your screens too. What do you think we're dealing with? A hunter was out in the woods tracking deer when he suddenly saw something strange walking just meters away from him. Completely stunned by the sight, he quickly gathered his composure and managed to take this picture. The creature, estimated to be 8 feet tall or even more, casually strolled by. Take a good look. Most people are convinced it's Bigfoot. Naturally, with all the recent Bigfoot clips, everyone's wondering if this is the real deal. Imagine you're out at night and you see this. What's your first reaction? For me, this has got to be a trick question. I am, of course, running out of the place, but not for filming. Somehow the person got closer to get a much better view of everything. Strange if you ask me, especially given the fact that this was recorded at night. What if the creature came to him? How would he have defended himself? How would he have escaped? Well, that didn't happen, but it could have. Obviously, we're dealing with a snake here, but which exact snake and why is it moving like that? Any herpetologist to help us out will be reading. As you share your thoughts, take a look at this footage. The clip you're watching currently was recorded by a man named Todd in a part of the woods he refused to disclose. Why, you ask? Well, if it isn't obvious already, it's because he believes what you're seeing on your screen is actual footage of Bigfoot, and he recorded it himself. According to him, he's seen this humanoid ape-like creature a number of times in the same area, and he's built differently. From its structure to its fur and facial features, although they have some semblance to that of an ape, they at the same time do not look like that of an ape. Based on this, and this alone, he concluded that's Bigfoot. I've looked at this clip several times, and I must say that this is one of the clearest clips we've got of a potential Bigfoot candidate. But is it really Bigfoot? I'll leave that up to you to decide. Next, we've got this footage from a home security camera set up in the kitchen. In the clip, a woman is busy doing something when out of nowhere, the lower compartment of the fridge starts to open and close on its own. The woman, visibly startled, turns around to face the fridge and her reaction is priceless. You can tell she's completely freaked out. She doesn't waste any time either. She fast walks right out of the kitchen, clearly not wanting to stick around to see what might happen next. Here's where it gets even weirder. After she leaves, the fridge continues its bizarre behavior, opening and closing all on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. Most people believe this is ghost activity, but what do you think? Wow, And yes, that's a man lying next to a massive bone. Before you scream giant, it's rumored to be the thigh bone of a titanosaur. This gigantic bone was discovered back in 2013 by a farmer in Argentina. He noticed part of it was sticking out of the ground, and that's when the experts were called in to dig it out. What they unearthed was an 8-foot-tall bone. It's nearly the same height as the man lying beside it, which really puts in a perspective just how colossal these creatures once were. Titanosaurs are believed to have been some of the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth, and this bone alone speaks to their sheer size. It's mind-blowing to think that something this enormous was roaming our planet millions of years ago. Mesmerizing, right? Imagine being out in the wild and coming across this. What does it look like to you? Almost everyone I showed this to was convinced it was a snake. Others thought we were looking at the belly of an alligator or croc that was somehow turned over in the water. Looking at it, I guess I understand why they think that, because for a second I thought so too. I have my answer now though, but instead of telling you, let's see if you guys can figure it out. 1, 2, 3. If you thought dog, then you're right. It's a dog. Next, we've got a clip of a child sleeping what appears to be her baby cot. There's a baby cam rolling, and if you pay attention, you'll see it. A cloud of smoke or fog appears to hover over the child. It moves around for a little while, and then the clip ends. The one who uploaded it believes the cam captured a spirit that was visiting the child. Now, there's no way to confirm or disprove that, but it's a common hypothesis people have anytime they find such white, ethereal, and foggy movements or characters around their babies. If you're an avid follower of this channel, then this is probably not the first time you've seen a clip like this. What do you personally think about these kinds of clips? What do you believe is actually happening in them? Share your thoughts in the comments section. A family from the Philippines captured some very strange footage on their home security camera. In the footage, an elderly woman was sleeping on a sofa in the living room when suddenly a dark, heavy figure appeared hovering over her. Not long after, a younger woman walked in, noticed the dark figure, and started swatting at it, trying to make it go away, but it wouldn't budge. Here's where it gets eerie. The elderly woman is the younger woman's mother, and she was experiencing sleep paralysis for a while. The family had no idea what was causing it, so they set up a camera while she napped to finally get some answers, and this is what they found. But not everyone is convinced by the footage. Some say the dark figure could just be a spider on the camera lens. But if that were true, why was the woman swatting at it in the room itself? Doesn't add up now, does it? Unless, of course, they really did capture a sleep paralysis demon. Sounds like a long stretch, but I could use your input on this one.
¿Así?
These days, parents often leave their kids in front of children's shows to keep them occupied and out of the way. But could this actually be harming them more than helping? Many parents have noticed strange behaviors in their children, especially when watching CoComelon. Some kids will drop everything and rush to the TV the moment it comes on. Others, even when fast asleep, jolt awake the second they hear the show's intro music. Studies suggest that shows like these use intense colors and rapid scene changes that overstimulate young brains, almost putting them into a trance-like state. This explains why kids get so glued to the screen and why they throw huge tantrums when it's turned off. We are unknowingly frying our children's brains with this level of stimulation. Maybe it's time to be more mindful of what to let them watch. Or maybe I'm just buying into the conspiracy I know nothing about. Do we have a psychologist here to confirm this?
Over! Uh-oh!
It seems we're just a few years away from machines taking over. Take a look at this. This is Archax, a towering robot designed in Japan. What makes Archax incredible is that it's fully controlled by a pilot who sits inside. The mechanical giant stands at an impressive 15 feet tall and looks straight out of a sci-fi movie, but don't let its sleek design fool you. This thing has power. With one move, it looks like it could crush anything or anyone in its path. It's fascinating, but also unsettling. Could robots like Archax represent the future of warfare? Will battlefields soon be dominated by machines like this with humans piloting from within? It's a thrilling, yet chilling glimpse into what might lie ahead. What do you think? Are machines like Archax the future, or is this a step too far? This next image comes from the infamous West Virginia Penitentiary, a place that once held some of the most hardened criminals. Known for its grim history, the prison has long been a hotspot for eerie tales and paranormal encounters. A visitor recently toured the site and snapped this photo. At first, nothing seems unusual, but when they got home and reviewed the pictures, they noticed something chilling. Take a closer look. There's a ghostly figure in the frame. It's translucent, but you can clearly make out skeletal, pale face. Places like this, steeped in history and tragedy, are often believed to harbor residual spirits. Could this figure be one of the penitentiary's past inmates, still lingering in the shadows of its dark corridors? Next, we got a clip sent in by a subscriber of the channel called Tammy. Hey Tammy. She attached a still photograph that had her confused, explaining that it was captured by her security camera one night when her adult daughter was taking their greyhound outside to use the bathroom. They live in a sparsely developed rural area with buffalo up the street and longhorn cattle down the road. Because of this, they always stay with their animals when they go outside. What you're seeing on your screen currently was captured by her camera. It's the type that screws into a porch light socket. Her daughter had been standing about 6 feet from the steps where the greyhound was, with her hands on the door under the camera. While her daughter could see the dog clearly, the other figure in the image had been invisible to her. The subscriber said she hadn't seen the picture until weeks later when reviewing the footage. The camera had apparently gone off after capturing what's on your screen. She wants to believe it's because it's a low-quality cam, but some members of my team think otherwise. She wants our opinion, though. She states that her daughter was less than 6 feet away from the figure and should have been able to see it, but it's only visible on camera. I've looked at this several times, and I'm tempted to say it's something otherworldly, but let's hear your opinions. The photograph might be old, but Tammy needs answers. Lately, there have been plane crashes happening all over. The most recent one was on Monday, February the 17th, 2025. Flight Delta 4819 crashed into Toronto Pearson Airport in Canada and flipped upon impact. There were 80 people on board at the time, and while no one died, 18 people were reported injured. Just 3 weeks earlier, there was already another incident at DC Reagan Airport where an airplane and a helicopter collided. This is setting off some alarm bells. People are starting to suspect that these incidents aren't exactly isolated, but could be part of something bigger, maybe even an attack. Some believe that this could be the work of hackers spoofing airplane GPS signals. This kind of interference could mislead pilots and has reportedly been responsible for multiple crashes since 2020. While some explanations have come from authorities explaining the complex failure that led to this crash, not everyone is convinced, especially in the light of recent evidence. They think authorities are just covering up the spoofing attacks. This is way out of my pay grade, as I'm no aviation expert, but could the experts here help us with this one? Let me tell you about this intriguing and hauntingly beautiful place, the island of Gaiola. It's off the coast of Naples, Italy. This small, picturesque island looks like a slice of paradise with its quaint charm and clear blue waters surrounding it. But don't let its serene appearance fool you. This island is said to carry a dark curse. The stories surrounding Gaiola are as mysterious as the island itself. Tragedy seems to follow its owners. Back in the 1920s, the owner at the time, a man named Hans Brons, met a gruesome end. He was found dead, wrapped in a carpet, under circumstances that remain murky. Not long after, his wife tragically drowned in the sea surrounding the island. But the misfortune did not stop there. A German industrialist who later bought the island succumbed to a fatal heart attack while staying there. Another owner, a Swiss writer, fell into despair and took his own life in a mental hospital. These stories are not all. Nearly every person who's owned it has faced some form of calamity. So is it a mere coincidence, or does this island indeed harbor a curse? Let's take a look at this next image. It's quite blurry, but there's something eerie going on here. This photograph was taken by a woman back in 2007. She was walking through an alley late at night when she started feeling uneasy. According to her, there was no one around. She kept looking back but didn't see anything unusual. Feeling alarmed, she held her phone behind her and snapped a few pictures as she continued walking. When she got home and examined the photos, that's when she noticed this. On the left side of the image, there's a shadowy figure. It looks like a person wearing a long coat, but it has an almost ghostly appearance. At first, you might miss it, but once you see it, it's hard to ignore. Just look at that. What could this figure be? The woman could not explain it, and to this day, she's no idea who or what was following her that night. While you share your thoughts, we visit an event in China, where a large crowd is gathered around a stage watching a performance. There's nothing out of the ordinary, but is there? Well, if you pay attention, among the security personnel standing behind the barriers, there's a humanoid robot. Now, it's unclear whether the robot was there for security purposes or just for display, but at some point during the event, it suddenly approached a specific woman behind the barrier. Its movements and posture were eerily human-like, almost as if it was getting ready to confront someone. Security officers quickly intervened, treating it as if it were a real person, attempting to hold it back and calm it down. Just look at that. This incident raises serious concerns because even though robots are programmed to mimic human behavior, they're still just machines. If a wire malfunctions or a line of code goes wrong, they could easily go rogue. Fortunately, the situation was brought under control, but everyone noticed what happened. I don't know about you, but this is no joke to me. If robots can switch like this so easily, what does our future look like? Will we see robots getting into fist fights with humans? I also can't help but wonder what this woman did or said that made the robot react like that. Anyway, what do you think they said to him to calm him back down? Imagine calming down a robot. God. This fisherman was on his way to fish when he stumbled upon something shocking deep in the forest near the river he was heading to. Lying on the ground was a massive shed snakeskin. It's long and thick and stretches far. The sheer size of the skin suggested that the snake that left it behind was enormous, possibly one of the biggest ever recorded. I wonder what kind of snake could have shed this. Some believe it could belong to a giant anaconda or a massive python, both of which are known to reach incredible lengths. If that's the case, this could be one of the largest snakeskins ever discovered. Water is a fundamental part of life on Earth, but here's a fascinating fact. Scientists believe that much of the water on our planet is older than the sun itself. Yeah, you heard that right. Older than the very star at the center of our solar system. Research suggests that water in the form of ice originated in interstellar space long before the sun and planets formed. It likely came from the solar nebula in its massive cloud of gas and dust that eventually coalesced to form our solar system. This ice carried in ancient molecules dating back billions of years, which eventually became part of Earth's oceans and other water systems. This doesn't mean Earth itself is older than the sun, but rather that the ingredients making up its water existed long before our solar system took shape. There are cultures that believe that our solar system once inhabited a superior race until a cataclysmic event wiped them out and restarted life as we know it, with humans being the superior race. If we're to believe this, those cultures are not entirely wrong. What do you think? Disney has long been a hotbed for conspiracy theories, and some of them are quite unsettling. Let's take a look at a few examples. One of the most discussed topics involves Mickey Mouse himself. When the iconic Mickey Mouse silhouette is turned upside down, it spells the word wicked. This has led people to question whether there was a hidden message in Disney's designs. Then there's the Walt Disney signature. The way the letters W, D, and Y are styled bears a resemblance to the number 6. Put together, some interpret this as a covert reference to 666. Are these subliminal messages deliberately placed to hint at secret affiliations, or are they just coincidences blown out of proportion? A man came across a dog seemingly frozen mid-run in the middle of a vast empty field. There was no one around, and the dog's tail stood upright while its body trembled slightly. Even its paws remained in place as if it had been stopped by an invisible force. Was the dog so terrified by something that it froze in shock, or is this some kind of glitch? Well, some paranormal communities were quick to call the pup a skinwalker, but I don't know about this one. There are some species of dogs that pause and point like this dog is doing to bring something to the attention of its owner or parent, like this generation likes to refer to themselves as. Looking at this, and given the fact that they're in the woods, I'm tempted to believe that that's what's going on here, but I'm no animal expert. Can anyone confirm this, or if you have a different theory, please don't hesitate to share. Moving on to something a bit more digital and technological in nature, AI has made another advancement. This is basically a daily thing now, but this advancement and discovery is a big deal. Scientists have found that artificial intelligence can now tell whether a person is male or female by looking at a single image of their eye with up to 90% accuracy. They explained that the AI was trained using more than 84,000 eye images and was able to spot small differences that doctors couldn't see. This discovery shows that AI can reveal hidden patterns in the human body, which could help improve medical research and detect eye diseases more accurately. The researchers also shared that the AI system was highly accurate, correctly identifying a person's sex in most cases. They said the AI works by noticing tiny details in the eye that aren't visible to the human eye, making it a powerful tool for future healthcare. This ability to find patterns could help doctors discover new ways to diagnose and treat health problems, showing the growing importance of AI in medicine. So, yeah, this is one of those good AI advancements, but it could also be weaponized. Either way, think happy and positive thoughts. Then hope that's all there will be to this. If you were thinking that's the moon, you might have to think again. That's not the moon, and a few seconds in, it becomes apparent because we see smaller light sources hovering around this large light source. Naturally, when this was uploaded, it led to numerous debates. Some wanted to insist it was the moon, but the one who recorded stated the moon was also up that night in a different part of the sky. Going beyond the large light source, you have to wonder what the tiny moving ones are. Some think the whole thing is just a UFO moving through the sky with maybe smaller scout ships, whereas others think there's something wrong with the recording device and they're probably just spots. While that does sound logical, if they were just spots based on the camera's recording, then the one recording shouldn't have seen them with his or her naked eyes. Anyway, maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but what do you guys think? The sun is undoubtedly one of the most powerful and untouchable forces in our solar system, a place where no human could ever survive, let alone approach. The extreme heat alone would melt anything that came close to it. But back in August, a baffling piece of footage emerged from Ohio. Someone captured what appeared to be the figure of a person silhouetted against the blazing sun. Take a moment to think about it. How could this even be possible? Humans can't fly unaided, and even if they could, no known technology could allow someone to withstand the sun's immense heat. And the figure doesn't appear to have any visible gear or protection. So what do you think this mysterious figure could be? A man was driving past a graveyard when he noticed something like this. We've had clips like this in the past, but this one adds a bit of an interesting detail. We see 3 turkeys running in circles around a gravestone marked with the name Harris. The turkeys never stopped. They didn't slow down, didn't break formation, but just kept circling the grave over and over. Now, turkeys are known to circle things they perceive as a threat, but this was just a gravestone, not a predator, not a moving object, just a stone. Some people believe the turkeys were acting on instinct, seeing the headstone as some kind of a threat, but others think there's something deeper going on. One user made a comment we have never come across in all our time of seeing this clip. He stated that animals are often believed to have a sharp sense of the spiritual and are able to detect things that humans can't see or feel. We already knew this, but he goes a bit further. He adds that turkeys are able to sense the punishments from the grave. This took us by surprise, and he didn't go any further. Sensing the punishment from the grave? Well, what the hell does that mean? Was he trying to say the owner of the grave was being punished and the turkeys were aware? Also, why didn't he care to explain further? This has got me and all my team thinking. Perhaps we're overthinking, but what do you guys also make of this? Is there some kind of sign of a spirit activity going on and around the grave, or are these turkeys, well, just being turkeys? Two friends were sitting in a car parked near a house when they noticed something strange. At first, they thought they saw a person moving back and forth near a curtain, but then something unsettling happened. As the figure continued moving, its pace suddenly became much faster and its motion no longer looking like walking or running. Instead, it was gliding. What's even stranger is that they could only see the upper body with an unnatural, ghostly movement. We don't know the history of the house, whether it's abandoned or if someone still lives there, but many people believe this could be the restless spirit of someone who once lived and died in that room. What do you also think? A woman working the night shift as a security guard shared a bone-chilling experience.
So, there is somebody standing right there. Oh, my camera just went out. But there's nobody over there. See? And he's gone. Oh my.
According to her account, the night began like any other, a routine bunch of rounds through the facility, ensuring everything was secure. However, as she made her way through the premises, she couldn't shake off a strange sensation. It felt as if an unseen presence was lingering nearby. Later, when she returned to the monitoring room to watch the cameras, she noticed something peculiar. On the screen, there was a figure standing at the front gates. Startled, she decided to double-check by peering out of the window to confirm what she saw. But when she looked, the area was completely empty. No one was there. The unsettling encounter had left her shaken and puzzled. Was it a technical glitch on the camera or something far more eerie?
So, there is somebody standing, but there's nobody over there.
This is a photograph of indigenous chiefs taken just years ago and displayed in the residential school in British Columbia. At first, it looks like a simple, solemn image, but when you look closer, focusing on the trees behind the men, something peculiar stands out. There, hidden among the foliage, is what appears to be a dark face. You can distinctly make out the eyes, nose, and mouth. It's haunting, to say the least. Could it symbolize something tied to the location's history? Perhaps a lingering spirit from the past? This footage was captured on Snapchat by a man who was streaking his friend when the camera picked up something eerie. In the background, on the far side of the room, there was a doorway. At first, it looked completely normal, but then this happened. A small ghostly figure moved swiftly across the doorway. The man was startled but not entirely shocked, because according to him, he'd been experiencing strange occurrences in his house for a while, but he'd never caught anything on camera. This was the first solid evidence. He immediately sent the video to his friend for confirmation, and his friend admitted he could see the creature too. Now, he's no idea what's going on. Could his house be haunted, or did the spirit follow him home? He uploaded this to a paranormal platform seeking answers. Unfortunately, we don't have the answer he seeks, but do you? Still on the topic of trail cams, a man set up his camera in a remote mountain area far from any human activity. This spot was known for its absolute solitude, which made what he discovered all the more disturbing. When he reviewed the footage, he came across this chilling image, a woman standing with her back to the camera. She appeared to be wearing a short dress, or perhaps it was just an oversized shirt. But it wasn't her clothing that made his blood run cold, it was her feet. They didn't look human at all. Instead, they resembled hooves. Considering the time and isolated location, the man is certain no one else was anywhere near the area, adding the extra layer of mystery to this unsettling discovery. What do you think? Could this be a prank, a trick of the light, or something far more sinister? Let us know your theories below. This image was taken by a trail camera, and it's certainly unsettling. In the shot, there's a creature sitting on the forest floor, its head bent down as if in a moment of stillness or concentration. The figure is large with broad shoulders and a hunched posture, making it look quite imposing. The person who captured the image insists that this is Bigfoot, and when you look at it closely, it does seem to match the description of these elusive creatures. Tall, bulky, covered in hair, with a posture that isn't quite human. Skeptics argue that this is a misidentification, perhaps a person in thick clothing or an animal caught at a strange angle. But the size and shape make it harder to dismiss. Could this really be the legendary Bigfoot, or just another case of mistaken identity? What exactly are we looking at here? Someone shared this video of a strange prehistoric-looking fish surfacing from the water. It slowly swims up, then suddenly water shoots from the top of its head like a fountain, like a whale's blowhole. But this creature doesn't look like a whale. It's smaller, almost the size of an adult dolphin, and its body has this strange misty color and swirling patterns all over it. For a second, it genuinely looks like something from prehistoric times. Turns out it might actually be a baby whale, but even that hasn't fully been confirmed. Some are saying it's a rare species not often seen. Others think it might be something entirely new. Whatever it is, it's definitely not something we've ever been used to seeing. So what do you think this creature is? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. My name has been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.